Hello, so I wanted to check out this MicroFX Refiner from Heavyocity, and I got the demo downloaded and I placed it on some tracks as a master, and I wanted to see how it sounds in the master track because it does have some, mastering presets. It's supposed to be good on the master track as well, and immediately I could sense this EQ curve being applied, so a lot of the high frequencies being cut off. And if I just go back on these settings, and this is a demo, it could expire at any point in time. So if you check it out, look at the EQ curve being applied. There's a lot of high frequencies being cut off, and even with this emphasis, and even with the emphasis applied like so, it does have some weird changes it makes to the signal. All of these EQ curves being applied at all times is the first thing I didn't like or didn't approve of. It wouldn't be something I would place on my master track. Now, on a single track, on a bus, why not? On like a group track or for synths or whatnot, why not as a coloring device? Because it does have some saturation, compressor, and limiting, clipping, all of that happens, some stereo width. So all of that could be applied to like a bus or a single channel. But for the master, that kind of curve, I really don't feel like it's something I want. And especially if you check out the phase and what's doing to the phase of the signal, that's a lot of 180s to happen in your signal. So I don't think I want that on my master. But let's check it out while we're here. So let's see what that sounds like on the master track, just to see what the sound is going to be like. And I'm just going to play some, of course, electronic music. Of course, there is a difference here as well, but you can't notice that much in those high frequencies being cut off because this song doesn't really have all that much of it, just those hi-hats. Let's try something else to see something that has a lot more high frequency content, something like so. Yes, you can hear the difference much clearer in this case. It does have a lot of mastering presets, but I don't think I would want that phase issue on my master anyways. So I'm guessing this is much better to be applied only to a specific channel. Nevertheless, let's try it out. It has 3 types of compression. The first one just being a really gluey, slow, soft one. The second one, wide mode, where it splits the signal into mid and side for both compression and saturation and compresses those separately. Well, separately. If you check out what's happening with the gain reduction meter, yeah, you can see that the compression is happening basically almost uniform to the mid and side, and it's reacting to the low frequencies, which are mostly mono. So I guess that even though these are separately compressed, the detection circuit is still kind of connected for both mid and the side, and that's okay. And then the third one, which is, as they say, more aggressive, but also does some dry wet mixing for that compression. So let's try that as well. So I guess that this X parameter controls not just the threshold position, but also the dry wet parameter for this compressor alone. I guess that the compression sounds just fine, the limiting as well, the clipping that happens before the dynamic processing as well. So does the saturation. It really beefens up the signal. I think that it's only the EQ curves that I could not live with. And of course that the phasing issues being applied as well is something that I really, I don't want that on my master at the end of all the processing. I mean, how specific does the song have to be for all of that to be applied and to actually work? So I guess that the phasing issues is something that I can't go over, but just using this on a separate synthesizer, and let's try it as well. Let's see what this is. A piano. Let's try it only on the piano. Even though this has some delay, this has some reverb already. Let's even limit some of it. Throw in a tiny bit of everything, some clipping as well. It's not bad. Actually, it sounds really good on this piano. The fact that it has some side chaining kind of is actually being reduced by this compressor, so it sounds fine on that. I mean, we could apply this to anything, boost up the saturation and compression and be like, oh, this is really nice, it really did something. As I feel it does, but I think it's really specific. Applying all of that EQ curvature and all of that phasing stuff that you can't actually turn off. So if there was an offer here to just turn off that EQ curve altogether, EQ curve and the clarity and all of that stuff, so it doesn't affect it, and if I could just cleanly use this compression, limiting, clipping, I feel that that would be really nice. It would be more useful to have a tool where you have some nice compression and limiting and clipping at the same time that you can just like dial in along with some width and saturation. I think that would be just fine. But this EQ curve, I'm not sure how that is gonna play into everything. I guess that on synths, that is actually cool, not having those super high frequencies, which is something I think that producers nowadays don't pay much attention to, not having all those super high frequencies in your synths, at least not all the time. So this could be something that helps. I'm just thinking that this is not for my masters. I like the way it looks. UI is really nice, really ergonomic, nice to use, really clear in what's happening. It's just what happens under the hood is something that I'm really not fond of. It's not like I don't use anything that has something of an EQ curve or a harmonic kind of signature already applied to it. It's just not this extreme. This is really extreme and you can't turn it off. So for me, it's a no-go. It would be something that I would use only in specific situations. So it would not be a tool that sees a lot of usage on almost everything. So that's my verdict. If you like the video, like it. If you're not subscribed, please do. A lot of the people watching the videos are not subscribed. Drop a comment if you think my glasses look stupid. And if you want to learn more about music production, head on over to mixingacademy.com, where I have a 40+ hour long course, which is, thanks to 11.org, completely free. See you in the next video. Bye.